Hello again, Struck. Today I wanted to talk to you about Magic Legends, a isometric hack and slash action RPG shooter game developed by Cryptic, published by Perfect World, that will be free to play and that is starting its open beta very soon on the 23rd of March. Following some player feedback in the 3 alpha tests they had, the developers decided to finally do a change that I'm such a big fan of. That change. Items that you get now would include armor and all sorts of equipment pieces that you can equip, and they would actually make you stronger. Because it was preposterous in a shooter game, isometric hack and slash game, to not have equipment, to not have wood to equip and make you stronger and give you some effects and to synergize. I mean, itemization is super important in games like those, and I'm happy that they are taking this feedback and are working already developing armor and other types of equipment. Now, some of you might be wondering, is this my type of game? What's so different in this game compared to other games in the genre? And I'm gonna try and answer those questions by providing you some information. The way the game works is it has an interesting system where it's trying to combine the deck building effects, the deck building system of Magic the Gathering, and then put that into an isometric ARPG hack and slash game. You unlock spells, you build a deck of those spells, and there are some limitations. For example, you can only have up to 2 different colors of spells in a deck at the same time, and 2-color deck building is unlocked very early in the game. Then creature spells are also restricted by a total of 12 creature points in the deck, which means you have to kind of decide whether you want to take creatures that have a bigger impact but cost more creature points, or do you want to stack a bunch of low creature point cost minions but have an army of a lot of those. So there's this one to consider. There are different types of spells: red spells, blue spells, green, dark, holy, etc. And using those spells, those spell types, you kind of make your deck. And you can have 12 spells in the deck, and from that deck, at any point in the game, you would have 4 of those active, available to use to cast in combat. Once you use one, it shifts and draws another one from the deck and replaces that one with the new one. That's kind of how it works, and this adds some sort of randomness, some sort of nice mechanic that you have to kind of rotate properly, maybe use this spell at this time so you can quickly replace it and get a new one instead, and so on. The possibilities are endless in regards to building a deck and what you want to go for and how you want to play, and what spells you take, what colors of spells you take would really determine your class. You can play the same class but with different colors of spells and have a completely different feel and play style to adopt. Now, there are certain things that you might want to know. For example, how do we earn pages? How do we upgrade pages? As you progress through the multiverse, you'll find and earn spell pages of specific spells. When you collect enough spell pages and harvest enough ether from missions, then you will be able to upgrade your spells rank and their effectiveness up to a maximum of level 10. So spells go up to rank 10 from what I'm really reading and hearing on the internet. The spells you collect fall into 3 categories. Creature spells, which will allow you to have an army of creatures fight alongside you, such as undead, angels, beasts, golems, and other creatures. Then there's enchantment spells, which create an ongoing effect for a set amount of time, which can synergize with other spells that you cast. And then there's sorcery spells. There are single-use powers which can quickly turn the tides of the battle to your favor, such as conjuring a massive lava vortex, or a tornado, or even dragonfire that can melt your foes, or even a spell that lets you nourish and heal your summoned creatures and yourself. And there's also even spells that allow you to mind control enemies and make them fight for you. Spells have 4 different rarities, just like Magic the Gathering. common, uncommon, rare and mythic rare. There's also another system that I would like to talk about, and this is artifacts. Right now, from what I'm seeing in their trailers, artifacts have 6 total slots, 1 legendary, 2 greater and 3 lesser slots. And those are, I am assuming, something that you find, that you unlock, and those give you passive bonuses that can boost certain abilities as well as certain spells, and they also can cause and trigger certain effects, I'm assuming. Now let's quickly talk about the different classes that you can select. First of all, there's the Geomancer. They draw upon the power of the earth to pummel enemies in close quarters, fearlessly enter the fray using stone and lava melee attacks, advancing into battle with goblins, kavu and earth elementals at your side. And then we have the Mind Mage, which personifies cool intellect, utilizing psychic powers, battle enemies from a safe distance, controlling projectiles with telekinesis and walking down dangerous foes with spells that put them to sleep or turn them against their allies. After that, we have a class called the Beast Caller. It is the embodiment of primal might and savagery. Vanquish hordes of foes on the battlefield with crushing blows from your massive spirit axe, while coordinating your attacks with an Aether, Fox Companion and other summoned beasts. Then we have the Sanctifier, which is the holy kind of class, the light class, the healer. The Sanctifier is equally adept at smiting foes with searing bolts of light as they are with mending the wounds of fallen comrades. Summon forth angels, paladins, and those dedicated to a noble cause to protect you in battle, while you lay waste to your enemies with righteous light. And next we're going to talk about the Necromancer, the dark class, and as the name suggests, it's about summoning skeletons. The Necromancer uses deathly rituals to devastate enemies and raise undead hordes for their own purpose. Utilize your unique connection with death to tear the life from the living and sap your enemy's strength with terrible curses. Now, there's some interesting combinations that people can adapt when building a deck. For example, combining life drain in the dark skill tree with healing in the holy skill tree, or maybe combining the Geomancer with the Beast Caller so you can have more of a close range summoner, or even combining a Mind Mage with summoning, so you have a mind control and then you have also crowd control and then you have some summons in addition to the mind controlled summons. There's, as I mentioned, endless possibilities. Another thing that people might be wondering about would be the universe. What is the multiverse? Well, you will need to cross diverse planes and regions to save the magic multiverse. But how you weave your path is up to you. There are 5 zones for now that have been announced on the website: Shif, Benalia, Tazim, Tuvaria and Gavani. And on your screen you're seeing some descriptions of each of those zones. As you can see, Shif is a volcanic island on the plane of Dominaria, inhabited by Gitu tribes, goblins, ogres and dragons. Benalia, on the other hand, is a church-state city of the plane of Dominaria, where rolling plains meet dark swamps. The Banalish people are at war with the Cabal fanatics and their demons. And then there's Tazim, the jungle continent on the plane of Zendikar, featuring mythical hedron stones, massive trees and lush rivers, inhabited by merfolk, elves and a host of wild creatures. Then we have something called Tuvaria, a tropical academy on the plane of Dominaria, teeming with aspiring wizards, homerid beasts and artifact constructs. Next we have Gavani, a province on the plane of Innistrad, where the settlements and townsfolk are constantly under attack by the likes of werewolves and undead. So I hope this seems like a good start. 5 different biomes, 5 different zones where we would be doing missions. And speaking of missions, there's another thing I would like to speak about, and that's how rewarding they seem to be and what the difficulties and modifiers that we get for those missions seem to be. What we have seen is that since there are different regions, each region would have their own story, and you would be able to replace some of those missions the way it's designed. It seems like that's going to be the case, and you would be able to queue up. And once you finish a mission, you would get a certain set of rewards, which can vary from certain things like ether, chromatic mana, eternal echoes, gold, and then black, blue, green, red, white planar mana, as well as spell shards and also spell pages. You saw on the screenshot that we only got like +1, +2 spell pages. Maybe later on in the game we start getting more. If you only get 2-3 spell pages per mission, and we need 60 for the first upgrade and maybe more for the next and so on, it might be a bit grindy. So I hope they don't make us grind too much to upgrade spells with so many spells to try and to upgrade. I hope it doesn't take too long to switch to a new setup if you want to do so. Now, as you see, there's three different difficulties, and I'm showing you two, which is the expert and the hard difficulties, and you saw how expert and hard increase the gains in ether, chromatic mana, eternal echoes, gold, and then the planar mana and the spell shards. I'm assuming chromatic mana can be used for all types of spells, whereas the planar mana can only be used with the certain plane spells, the black spells or blue spells or green, and so on. I'm assuming eternal echoes are something that's used for some sort of upgrade or other mechanic, and ether is definitely used for upgrading spells, and gold most likely is used to do some sort of unlocks. Most likely eternal echoes is used to unlock heroes, because we know that you would be able to pay, and this brings us to the pay to win, which is not as much pay to win as one might say, but yeah, it is pay to progress, it is pay to unlock heroes. So you start with the default hero, from what I've read and heard, and then those who want to skip ahead and unlock new heroes would have to pay for them. Whether those new heroes would be overpowered compared to the one you start with remains to be seen. There's gonna be PvP, and it's gonna be 1v1 PvP for now as duos. But the main focus won't be on PvE. So maybe you can't call it pay to win, although in my opinion saving time is pay to win. In my opinion, anything that gives you an advantage where you can save time and there's nothing more precious than time, you can get time back. So yeah, it is a little bit of a pay to win, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad being able to buy a hero before you farm for it. It's not terrible. I mean, you can spend a few hours maybe and grind it. I still need to see how grindy it will be to unlock a hero. Do I need 1 day of grinding, like 8 hours for the day? Do I need 2, 3, 4, 5 days of 8 hours a day to unlock a hero? I want to know exactly how much time it would take to unlock a hero before I can say, hey, this is bad, this is not bad, and so on. And I also need to know how overpowered other heroes would be compared to the one we start with. Obviously, it's all gonna be about your deck and what spells you use, but you also need to consider the items that you would have, and also the abilities and passive traits of that class. That said, I think there isn't much more to say for the time being. I might make another video soon when there's more information, and I hope you've enjoyed this information that I've shared, and do let me know in the comments what you think about the game. Do you think it's gonna be on your radar? Do you think it's gonna be something to wait and see? Since it's free to play, it doesn't cost anything to test it, so will you be testing it like me, or will you wait a bit more to figure out from other people whether it's worth it? To get notified when I upload more content for this game or other games like this one, which would be wooters of all varieties, isometric, third-person ARPGs, wooter shooters, and all sorts of wooters like that, you could subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to not miss out on my content updates. And optionally, you can even join as a member of the Struck Club on YouTube as a channel member to get access to exclusive perks such as special emotes custom made by me, special badges custom made by me that represents how many months you have been a member for, as well as opt-in of editing tutorials that I can give for Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, as well as shout outs and things like that. And I would like to use this part of the video to thank all my YouTube members and Twitch subscribers. Thank you for supporting the channel and keeping me going. Thank you also for watching this video, everyone. Keep it cool, Struck Up. Until next time, and goodbye.